Picture this. It's a Friday night. You're curled up on the couch with your boyfriend, binge-watching your favorite show. You glance over at him, phone in hand, a mischievous grin playing on his lips. You can't help but peek. And there she is, a woman who seems to defy gravity, gracing his Instagram feed in all her perfectly filtered glory. You know the type: flawless skin, strategically placed emojis, and a caption that's equal parts cryptic and suggestive. Sound familiar? Don't worry, you're not alone. In the digital age, navigating the world of relationships often feels like traversing a minefield of double taps and strategically cropped photos. It's enough to make even the most secure partner question everything. Suddenly, you're not just competing with other women in the real world, but with an army of perfectly posed, digitally enhanced goddesses vying for your significant other's attention, one like at a time. You might even find yourself spiraling down a rabbit hole of self-doubt. Is he comparing me to her? Am I not enough? Should I start contouring? Take a deep breath. Before you stage an intervention involving his phone and a dunk tank, let's unpack this phenomenon, shall we? What's with the fascination with these seemingly perfect strangers on the internet? Is it a harmless indulgence, a digital escape from reality, or something more sinister? Let's dive in and explore the real reasons why your boyfriend might be following those half-naked Instagram models. Let's address the elephant, or rather, the influencer, in the room. A recent study revealed that a staggering 80% of men on Instagram follow at least one model or influencer known for their, shall we say, aesthetically pleasing content. Now, before you launch into a dramatic monologue about trust and betrayal, let's take a step back and consider the bigger picture. This statistic isn't meant to ignite a relationship crisis. It's simply a starting point for a conversation about the evolving landscape of attraction and desire in the age of social media. The truth is, men are visual creatures. Always have been, always will be. It's hardwired into their DNA. In the past, this visual stimulation might have come from admiring a painting, a sculpture, or, dare we say, a glimpse of ankle in a crowded marketplace. Today, however, the male gaze has been digitized, democratized, and let's face it, amplified to an unprecedented degree. With a few swipes and scrolls, your boyfriend has access to a virtually endless stream of images designed to captivate and entice. It's the modern equivalent of the Venus de Milo, except instead of marble, she's sculpted in pixels and filters. So, should you be worried? Not necessarily. It's important to remember that attraction and desire are complex emotions, influenced by a myriad of factors beyond mere physical appearance. We live in a world saturated with images. Every time we unlock our phones, we're bombarded with a curated feed of perfection. Sun-kissed vacations, gourmet meals, and yes, impossibly beautiful people. This constant exposure to idealized versions of reality can't help but shape our perceptions, even subconsciously. It's easy to feel insecure, inadequate, or even invisible amidst this digital deluge of flawlessness. But here's the thing, it's all smoke and mirrors. Those Instagram models with their perfectly toned abs and effortless beach waves, they're selling you a fantasy, a carefully constructed illusion designed to garner likes and sponsorships. The real world, with its messy relationships, demanding jobs, and occasional spinach stuck in your teeth, is far more interesting, wouldn't you agree? So before you let those filtered photos fuel your insecurities, remember that you're comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. It's like comparing your first pancake to a professional chef's perfectly plated masterpiece. Give yourself a break and maybe invest in a good filter while you're at it. Now back to your boyfriend and his seemingly insatiable appetite for double tapping those thirst traps. It's easy to feel threatened, to interpret his online activity as a reflection of your own desirability. But before you jump to conclusions, let's consider some alternative explanations. Perhaps he's following those accounts for inspiration. Maybe he's secretly yearning for a six-pack or trying to improve his photography skills. We can dream, right? Or maybe, just maybe, it's as simple as this. He's a human being with eyes, living in a digital age where visual stimulation is just a click away. Think about it. Do you follow any celebrity chefs on Instagram even though you can barely boil water? Do you scroll through endless photos of adorable puppies, despite the fact that your landlord has a strict no pets policy? Of course you do. We all have our guilty pleasures, our digital escapes that bring us joy, inspiration, or, let's be honest, a healthy dose of escapism. It's important to remember that not everything is a competition. and his online activity doesn't necessarily reflect a lack of appreciation for your unique beauty and the incredible woman you are. Let's delve a little deeper into the psychology behind this seemingly superficial behavior. It's not just about the images themselves, but also about what they represent. These Instagram models, with their carefully curated feeds and aspirational lifestyles, tap into our deepest desires and fantasies. They represent freedom, adventure, and a life unburdened by the mundane realities of everyday existence. For some, following these accounts might be a way of vicariously experiencing a life they crave but feel is unattainable. It's a way to escape the daily grind, to indulge in a fantasy world where the sun always shines, the cocktails are always flowing, and everyone looks like they just stepped out of a magazine shoot. This isn't to say that your boyfriend is secretly yearning for a life without you. It simply means that he's human, and like all of us, he has dreams, desires, and fantasies that extend beyond the realm of his current reality. It's important to create space for open and honest communication about these desires, both within ourselves and with our partners. After all, a relationship built on secrecy and repression is like a house of cards, one ill-timed breeze away from collapsing. Let's face it, men are wired to be visually stimulated. It's not a flaw, it's simply a product of millennia of evolution. Picture our ancestors roaming the savannas, their survival dependent on their ability to spot potential mates from afar. In this primal landscape, physical attributes served as cues for fertility, health, and ultimately, the ability to pass on one's genes to the next generation. Fast forward to the 21st century, and while we're no longer hunting gazelles or foraging for berries, those primal instincts haven't entirely disappeared. They've simply been rewired for the digital age. Instead of scanning the horizon for potential mates, men are now swiping through an endless stream of potential partners, their thumbs working overtime to filter through the digital noise and find a signal that sparks their interest. So when your boyfriend scrolls through Instagram and pauses on a photo of a woman with gravity-defying curves, it's not necessarily a sign that he's planning to leave you for an influencer with a penchant for sponsored posts. It's simply his primal brain reacting to visual stimuli in a way that's been hardwired into his DNA for millennia. Now you might be thinking, but Esther, this is the 21st century. We've evolved beyond such base instincts. And you'd be right to an extent. We're no longer slaves to our primal urges. We have the capacity for reason, critical thinking, and yes, even emotional intelligence. But it's important to remember that evolution is a slow and messy process. Our brains haven't quite caught up with the rapid pace of technological advancement. We're still figuring out how to navigate this brave new world of digital dating, social media, and the constant bombardment of images that permeate our daily lives. It's like handing a smartphone to a caveman and expecting him to understand how to use it. He might be fascinated by the shiny object, but he's not going to be posting selfies on Instagram anytime soon. Similarly, men are still adapting to this new digital landscape, where visual stimulation is readily available and the lines between reality and fantasy are increasingly blurred. Let's not forget the role of technology in all of this. Social media platforms like Instagram are designed to be addictive. They employ sophisticated algorithms that track our every like, comment, and scroll, creating a personalized feed of content designed to keep us engaged and coming back for more. These algorithms are like digital puppeteers, subtly influencing our choices and shaping our desires. They know what we like, what we're drawn to, and they're constantly feeding us more of the same. So if your boyfriend happens to linger a little too long on a particular photo, it's not necessarily because he's smitten with the subject. It could simply be the algorithm doing its job, showing him content it knows he'll find engaging. It's like walking through a casino in Las Vegas. The flashing lights, the ringing slot machines, the strategically placed buffets, it's all designed to keep you entertained and spending money. Social media platforms operate on a similar principle, albeit with likes and shares instead of dollars and cents. In the intricate ecosystem of social media, the act of following can be a loaded gesture. Is it a simple acknowledgement of someone's existence, a digital nod of approval, or something more? Like deciphering hieroglyphics, understanding the nuances of the follow requires careful consideration. It's crucial to remember that a follow doesn't necessarily equate to real-life interest or intent. In the digital realm, we curate our online personas, presenting carefully constructed versions of ourselves to the world. The same applies to our choice of who we follow. Perhaps your boyfriend follows those Instagram models for the same reason he follows National Geographic, an appreciation for stunning visuals and breathtaking landscapes, albeit in human form. Or maybe he's intrigued by their entrepreneurial spirit, their ability to build a brand and engage with an audience. Whatever the reason, it's essential to approach the situation with curiosity rather than suspicion. Remember, a single action rarely tells the whole story. So where does this leave us? How do we navigate the complexities of love and desire in the age of social media? The answer, as with most things in life, lies in open and honest communication. Instead of letting suspicion and insecurity fester, talk to your partner. Share your concerns, your insecurities, and your observations, and most importantly, listen to his perspective. Remember, communication is a two-way street. It's about expressing your needs and being receptive to your partner's experiences as well. Trust is the foundation of any healthy relationship, and trust involves giving your partner the benefit of the doubt, even when it's difficult. It's about believing in the strength of your bond, even when confronted with the curated perfection of the digital world. Navigating the world of love and relationships has never been easy. But in the age of social media, where temptation lurks around every corner and curated perfection is just a swipe away, it can feel like an insurmountable challenge. But here's the good news. Social media doesn't have to be the enemy of love. In fact, it can be a powerful tool for connection, communication, and even intimacy. The key is to approach it with awareness, intentionality, and a healthy dose of humor. Remember, those Instagram models might have perfect abs and flawless hands, but they don't have the one thing that truly matters, your unique connection with your partner. So put down your phone, silence the notifications, and focus on what truly matters, cultivating a loving, trusting, and fulfilling relationship in the real world, one double tap at a time. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tips on navigating love in the digital age.